Sometimes life feels like an unstoppable storm, dragging you into a whirlwind of crisis, failure, anxiety, and despair. There are nights when you sit in silence, alone, in a dark room, your heart heavy and exhausted, fully aware that you deserve a brighter, more vibrant life, yet feeling trapped by procrastination, self-doubt, and those old patterns that keep repeating endlessly. You crave freedom, growth, and a breakthrough. But every time you summon the resolve to change, fear and hesitation pull you right back into the same cycle. Yet here's the truth. It is in the heart of the storm where your inner strength and hope are forged. Life's most powerful turning points never wait for conditions to be perfect. They demand that you face yourself honestly, that you summon courage, step beyond comfort, push past old limitations, and take action even when you feel unprepared. If you see yourself in these words, stay with this message until the end. Here, you will discover the essential principles to break free from stagnation, awaken your inner strength, and take control of your destiny, starting today, not a minute later. 1. Why your brain wants you to stay the same. Picture yourself as a ship anchored in a quiet harbor. Outside, the waves rage, the wind howls, and an unpredictable ocean stretches endlessly before you. Staying in place feels safe. No one will blame you. But ships aren't meant to sit still, and neither are you meant to simply survive, repeating the same dull days, like an endless loop, convincing yourself it is enough. The real danger doesn't lie outside. It lives within your mind. Most people remain trapped in the comfort zones they've built themselves. You may believe you are being rational, but your brain has a different priority: conserving energy, avoiding risk, and clinging to the familiar. Every time you attempt to break old patterns, your brain screams, "Stop. This is dangerous. You're not ready." This fear isn't truth. It's a relic from our ancestors, for whom change could mean life or death. No one is chasing you in the wild anymore, yet your brain still works relentlessly to pull you back toward anxiety, old habits, fear of failure, fear of judgment, and the fear of standing out. That's why so many attempts to change end in frustration. Think of the man who comes home exhausted, promising he'll hit the gym, only to turn on the TV and crack a beer instead. The father who wants to spend more time with his children but buries himself in work, telling himself, "I'm too busy." Year after year, the cycle repeats, not because you lack willpower, but because your brain is expertly wired to keep you in place. Science confirms this. Structures like the basal ganglia are designed to maintain habits and conserve energy. Each attempt to change triggers an automatic pull back toward familiar patterns. Motivation alone is no match for the deep-rooted force of habit. It's not your fault, it's biology. True change begins the moment you challenge the lies your mind tells you. The Stoics recognized this thousands of years ago. Epictetus said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." True power is mastery of your own mind, seeing fear for what it really is, an outdated defense mechanism, not a reflection of reality. When this becomes clear, you reclaim the right to choose, remain the same, or shatter your limitations. This is the first step toward breaking the cycle. Your brain, once understood, becomes the path to reclaiming strength and reaching unprecedented heights. Don't wait for a wave of motivation to transform your life. Instead, build the habit of asking, does this thought move me forward or hold me back? Is this fear real or simply an old reflex? Lewis Carroll once wrote in Alice in Wonderland, "If you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. Don't let your desire for change be just a way to escape discomfort." Real transformation comes when you know exactly who you want to become and where you want to go, not just what you want to run from. You can always start small. Do one difficult thing today, even if it's as simple as saying no to a bad habit. Observe your thoughts carefully. Every time your brain whispers fear, ask yourself, is this real or just an old reflex? Every week, write down something that used to scare you, but that you did anyway. Act first. Motivation will follow. Discipline is the foundation on which all lasting change is built. True change doesn't come from running away, it comes from stepping boldly into the unknown. Your brain will resist, it will doubt, and that's proof you're moving in the right direction. You are not a hostage to fear, nor a prisoner of your past. Start now, even if you feel unprepared, even if you're scared. Small actions, repeated day after day, rebuild your trust in yourself. You weren't born to stand still. Dare to take that first step, even if it's small, as long as it's genuine. Start today. Waiting only adds more days to a life of repetition and regret. But if you stand up and challenge yourself, every day becomes a new journey, and you can truly take ownership of your life starting right now. 2. Good enough is the barrier to greatness. Imagine yourself at a crossroads. One path is flat, familiar, comfortable, and easy. The other is steep, challenging, but opens onto vistas you've never seen. Which will you choose? Most people take the first road. That is the path of good enough. But pause and be honest with yourself. Perhaps you have a steady job. No complaints. Your health is fine. Your relationships are calm. Yet beneath the surface, life feels dull and your passion has faded. You tell yourself this is enough. But in reality, that is the most dangerous trap of all, the trap of settling. Look around. How many people spend their lives doing just enough to meet expectations, never fired but never growing? How many relationships continue out of habit, not depth or passion? How many times have you gone to the gym simply to avoid getting fat, rather than to truly become stronger or better? That good enough state turns you into a faded version of yourself. Jim Collins, author of Good to Great, said, "Good is the enemy of great." When life is merely adequate, you lose the urgency to push forward, the reason to leave your comfort zone, the drive to grow, improve, or create. Comfort delays hard choices and keeps countless opportunities out of reach. If you're only doing enough not to be criticized, not to fall behind, you'll remain average. Many will share this level, but few leave a mark. Temporary satisfaction becomes a ceiling, an invisible barrier keeping you trapped in mediocrity. To reach excellence, to cultivate creativity, deeper relationships, or extraordinary health, you need more than good enough. Real achievement demands facing difficulty and going beyond old limits. Don't fool yourself into thinking you're the exception. This is the silent illness of modern life. Look at Microsoft, Amazon, or any great company. They never settle for pretty good. They push themselves to innovate or risk falling behind. If you find yourself living in the comfort of good enough, ask, what will happen if I continue this for 5, 10, or 20 years? What am I quietly missing because I'm afraid to push a little harder? When was the last time you truly gave your all? Raise your standards just one level. If you go to the gym twice a week, make it 3. If you usually settle for this is fine, try striving for excellence just once. If your job is stable, learn a new skill, innovate, or take on a challenge. Don't fear discomfort, it is where true growth lies. Good enough is a sweet sedative, but a silent poison that kills big dreams. You can live an ordinary life. No one will blame you, but no one will remember you. Or you can push beyond, not for anyone else, but because you deserve more. So ask yourself, will you keep walking the easy, familiar road or dare to climb the challenging path ahead? Remember, good enough is not a destination. It's a barrier. Step past it. Start today. Act for yourself, for a future where you won't look back with regret. The journey beyond good enough begins with a single decision, and you can make it right now. 3. Comfort is the enemy of growth. Have you ever found yourself curled up under a warm blanket on a chilly morning, telling yourself, I'll get up in 5 more minutes, then 10, only to let the entire day slip away in a cycle of delay? Comfort, no matter how inviting, is like that blanket, soft, safe, but quietly keeping you trapped within your familiar zone. You may think you're resting, but in truth you're slowing down, holding back, or even falling behind the person you could become tomorrow. Comfort is a sweet trap, an invisible enemy that halts progress and keeps potential locked away. Ask yourself, why do we take fewer risks as we get older? Why do we cling to the same old paths, avoiding challenges we once dreamed of conquering? The hard truth is this: your comfort zone is a prison you build for yourself. You may think you're in control, but in reality it's fear. Fear of discomfort, fear of failure, fear of judgment that silently governs your decisions. Each time you choose comfort, you close the door on your own growth. How often have you chosen? Outside, it's the comfort you refuse to leave behind. You'll never know how far you can go if you cling to what feels safe. Only when you face discomfort, embrace challenge, and step beyond your comfort zone do you truly conquer yourself, opening the door to every great achievement that follows. Understand this: winning over yourself means accepting inconvenience, awkwardness, and even the fear of failure. No path to success is smooth. You will climb slippery slopes, catch your breath when exhausted, and push through moments when quitting seems easiest. Real growth begins with the smallest discomforts. The first day at the gym you feel lost. The first time you speak in public your hands shake. The first day learning a new skill you feel clueless. Yet in these moments, when you confront and overcome discomfort, you move closer, step by step, to your best self. Growth exists at the edge of your comfort zone. Take a hard look at yourself. What comfort zone is holding you back? Write down one thing you always avoid because it feels uncomfortable. Maybe it's speaking honestly with a colleague, starting a new habit, or asking for honest feedback. Then commit to one small action. Don't wait until you feel ready. This is the simplest, most effective way to expand your limits, one small action at a time. Every week, pick one thing that challenges you just enough to feel uneasy. Join a new class, start a conversation with someone you don't know. Spend a day without your phone. When your mind shouts, choose safety, respond firmly. I choose growth, not the easy way out. If you want to grow, you must embrace discomfort. There are no exceptions to the rule. Your greatest opponent isn't failure, it's being too easy on yourself. Never forget, comfort is the enemy of growth. Only by stepping outside, only by facing difficulty, do you truly come alive. Choose growth today, even if it starts with a single small action. Are you ready to fold up that cozy blanket and begin a new day for yourself? 4. Break the cycle of excuses. Nothing quietly destroys potential more than the small excuses we tell ourselves every single day. We get comfortable saying, "I'll do it tomorrow. I'm not ready. That's not for me. If only my circumstances were different, I'd be better." These words seem harmless, but repeated day after day, they quietly erode your willpower, your freedom, and your control over life. Excuses don't just delay action, they hand over your life to circumstances and other people without a fight. You think you're avoiding risk, failure, or pain, but in reality you're shrinking yourself, limiting your growth, and holding back your true potential day after day. Excuses are like a soft bed of stagnation. They give a false sense of safety, shielding you from worry, judgment, and challenge. You tell yourself it's because of your age, your family, your job, or your situation. But have you noticed? The more reasons you have, the fewer results appear, and you're not alone in this trap. Take Bethany Hamilton, for example, the American surfer who lost her arm to a shark attack at just 13. It was a shocking, life-altering trauma, enough to make anyone give up and settle for good enough. But Bethany refused to let excuses define her. Instead of saying, "I can't surf anymore," she returned to the ocean in less than a month, learning to balance and surf with just one arm. She went on to win competitions and inspire millions around the world. That is the power of refusing to let excuses win. Ask yourself honestly, has anyone ever accomplished something extraordinary while still holding on to excuses? Growth and happiness never come from waiting for perfect conditions. They come from acting even when circumstances are unfinished, even when self-doubt lingers. You will never move forward if you keep dodging every minor difficulty. Excuses are a shiny, comforting box of words, but they are barriers that block your progress. Each time you settle for a reason, you give away a piece of your self-respect, a piece of your right to control your own life. So, how do you break the cycle? First, confront it head-on. Don't ask, "Is there a reason I can't do this?" Instead ask, "How many ways can I make this happen?" Don't let the outside world decide for you. Focus on the small, tangible actions you can control. Start by writing down every excuse you make in a day. I'm too busy. I'm tired. I'm afraid of failing. I'm not good enough. Read them back, and you'll see they're just the same old scripts running on repeat. Then pick the biggest excuse holding you back and do the exact opposite. If you always say, "I don't have time to exercise," dedicate just 10 minutes a day, no matter how busy or tired you are. It doesn't need to be huge. Consistency is what slowly regains control of your life. Next, surround yourself with action takers, people who don't accept excuses and who push each other forward. Being around them will give you the drive to break old patterns. Each week, choose one small goal and commit to completing it, no matter how you feel. Action is the only antidote to excuses. Stay away from environments that coddle you with, "It's okay, take your time." Instead, seek out people who hold themselves and you accountable. The biggest difference between someone who grows and someone who stays stuck is simple. The grown-up sees the walls they've built around themselves and dares to tear them down. Don't mistake excuses for wisdom. They're just fear in disguise. True strength comes only when you are brave enough to look every excuse in the eye and refuse to let it hold you back. Remember, action today is proof of real change. Don't wait for inspiration. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for anyone's permission. Step out of the cycle of excuses. Even a single small action is the beginning of every major transformation in your life. Will you choose to take control of your destiny, or will you continue hiding behind reasons? The choice is entirely yours. Starting today. 5. You're not tired. You're under-challenged. You know, there was a time I thought I was just lazy, lacking willpower. Mornings felt like a struggle to get out of bed, weighed down by some invisible force. My days were on autopilot. Work, home, scrolling through social media or watching movies, and by nightfall I felt empty, like nothing meaningful had happened at all. If anyone asked how I was, my answer was always a sigh. I'm exhausted. I have no motivation. But the more I reflected, the clearer it became. I wasn't tired from doing too much. I was tired from living too little. My spirit drained not from overwork, but from a lack of challenges that pushed me to grow and truly live in the moment. Maybe you felt the same, burned out, uninspired, stuck in a rut. But think, when do you feel most alive? Isn't it when you're immersed in a new project, striving to master a tough skill, or testing yourself in a competition you truly care about? Conversely, those long, monotonous days are the ones without challenge. Nothing is pushing you to break through. We're not machines that simply run out of fuel. Mind, body, and spirit were built to grow through challenge. When life becomes too predictable, when there's nothing new to pursue, we slip into mere existence, living, but not truly alive. Burnout, laziness, and stagnation rarely come from doing too much. They come from life being too flat, too familiar. You know exactly what tomorrow will bring, what you'll eat, what you'll think. Life becomes a straight, dull line with no waves to row against. Socrates once said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." If every day is the same, there's no reason to push yourself harder, no excitement, no growth. When you set a new goal or challenge yourself to learn something difficult, your brain lights up. Willpower, emotion, creativity, and dopamine surge through your system, reigniting motivation. Successful people aren't those with more time to relax. They are those who actively seek new challenges, constantly asking, "What's next that will make me stronger, braver, better?" When you step out of your comfort zone, you rediscover the inner strength you thought was lost. Don't wait for motivation to appear. Start creating challenges for yourself. Here's a checklist I've used, and I hope you try it too. Pick one challenge for the next month. Learn a new skill, sign up for a fitness challenge, or start a personal project. Break that big goal into small, clear steps so that every day you push past your usual limits. Track your energy and feelings after each step. Notice how your inner drive begins to recharge. Regularly ask yourself, what did I do today that helped me grow? If the answer is nothing, make tomorrow different. Remember, you weren't born to repeat yesterday. If you feel tired or uninspired, don't blame your job, your age, or your circumstances. Perhaps what you really need is a mountain to climb, a challenge big enough to awaken the energy within you. Starting is always the most important step. Reignite your life with a new challenge, no matter how small, and rediscover the strength, purpose, and joy you thought you lost. You're not tired, you're under-challenged, and you can change that starting today. If you're ready, leave a comment. I'm ready to change myself. Let's begin stepping out of our comfort zones right now. 6. Motivation won't save you. Discipline will. Discipline will. Think about it. How many times have you waited to feel inspired before starting something? How many mornings have you said, I'll go to the gym tomorrow. I'm just not motivated today. Waiting for motivation is like waiting for rain during a drought. The truth is, life rarely goes as we plan, and motivation is fleeting. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it isn't. A powerful speech, an inspiring movie, or a motivating conversation may fire you up for a moment, but that spark fades. But as soon as you return to work, responsibilities, and old routines, that surge of motivation disappears, leaving you trapped in the same cycle. Boredom, procrastination, disappointment in yourself. Most people believe success comes from chasing more motivation, reading books, watching videos, attend seminars, hyping each other up, but no one can sustain progress on feelings alone. Motivation is like a wave. Sometimes it rises high, other times it crashes. What truly creates lasting success for athletes, artists, and entrepreneurs isn't those fleeting high-energy moments. It's the ability to show up, do the work, and keep your promises, even when you feel absolutely zero motivation, even when no one is watching. Discipline is the real secret. It's doing what needs to be done, no matter how you feel. Think of something simple, like brushing your teeth each morning. You don't need motivation for that, right? It's just a habit, a natural part of your life. That's the foundation for any major change. Build small habits, repeat them daily, one step at a time. Real sustainable success never comes from sprinting when you feel ready. It comes from consistent action, no matter what. Discipline isn't self-punishment. It's not about grinding until you collapse. Discipline is making a promise to yourself and keeping it as seriously as you. To the most important person in your life. Each promise you follow through on builds inner trust and self-respect. Each broken promise chips away at that trust. Success is not the product of occasional heroic bursts. It comes from all the ordinary days where you wake up early, work out, plan, read instead of scrolling, and complete tasks even when bored or tired. Remember the words of Epictetus. First, decide who you want to be, then do what you have to do. Don't wait for inspiration. Decide the person you aim to become and commit to the small, consistent actions that lead there. Motivation will rise and fall, but discipline is the heartbeat that keeps you moving forward. When you commit to yourself and follow through, you're no longer a slave to fleeting feelings or external circumstances. Your steady actions turn intentions into results, shaping you into the person you truly want to become. Don't treat working out, learning, or personal growth as things you'll do only when motivated. Schedule them. Make them non-negotiable appointments with yourself. Start small, one push-up, a few pages of reading, jotting down your goals. Pair new actions with existing habits. Make your coffee, write your goals, brush your teeth, do a quick stretch. Track your progress, even the smallest wins, to see yourself moving forward and fueling your inner drive. Most importantly, treat every promise as a contract with yourself. If you wouldn't flake on your boss, your team, or a loved one, Don't bail on yourself. Every action, every small commitment strengthens your self-respect and builds the foundation for extraordinary results. Discipline is not about waiting for motivation. It's about showing up day after day and keeping your word to yourself. Each act of self-discipline, no matter how small, shapes you into the most reliable, strongest version of yourself you can become. You don't lack motivation, you lack discipline. And discipline isn't something you're born with, it's a skill built day by day, step by step. Each time you keep your word to yourself, you move closer to your highest potential. Don't ask, "Do I feel inspired today?" Instead, ask, "Did I do what needed to be done?" Success, freedom, and growth all start with small, repeated actions. Even when no one is watching, even when there's no applause, discipline carries you forward. Motivation will fade, but discipline, the steady heartbeat of progress, will save you. If you're ready, start building it today. Keep your word. Take action, repeat. That is the only path to leveling up in the most lasting way. 7. Start before you're ready. Not every great journey begins with a perfect roadmap. Most of them start with a shaky first step, a quiet question in your mind: can I really do this? Think of Malala Yousafzai, the young girl in Pakistan who stood up for her right to an education despite threats of violence. When she began, she had no flawless plan, no experience, no support network, and certainly no guarantee of success. Yet she chose to act instead of waiting. That single step changed the world. If we always waited until we felt ready, we might wait forever. Harsh truth, but also liberating. The perfect moment exists only in your imagination. Life doesn't pause to give you courage, skills, or confidence before opportunities appear. The more you think, calculate, and plan, the more not ready you'll feel. Confidence isn't something you wait for. It's born from action. You'll never know everything beforehand, and you'll never feel fully prepared. And that's exactly why starting, even without complete readiness, is essential. The moment you take a single step, your brain shifts from defensive mode to learning mode. Yes, mistakes will happen. You'll feel awkward. You may even be embarrassed. But real experience is what builds resilience. It teaches you that your fears are smaller than you imagined. Sometimes just starting means you're already halfway there. Think about any skill you've mastered. Driving, learning a language, public speaking. Were you ever truly ready before you began? Or did confidence emerge after repeated shaky starts, failures, and lessons learned the hard way? Feeling awkward, clumsy, and embarrassed is normal. Everyone experiences it. The key is to start anyway. Even when you feel not enough, face your fears. Write down what's holding you back. Lack of knowledge, fear of failure, fear of judgment. Once you're clear, pick one tiny action. Don't try to do everything at once. Maybe it's signing up for a language class, reading 5 minutes a day, or attempting a single new exercise. You don't need to know it all right now. At the same time, accept the awkwardness. Everyone goes through a clueless phase before mastering anything. Every action, no matter how small, deserves acknowledgement. Celebrate it, record it, and let it fuel your momentum. Confidence doesn't create action. Action creates confidence. Malala didn't wait until she felt safe or strong. She started small, documenting her life under Taliban rule, sharing her words online, anonymously, then gradually appearing on TV, advocating for girls' education. Even surrounded by danger, each small, repeated action built courage and eventually created global impact. We often think we need more knowledge, more skills, more connections, or more money before starting. But as Plato said, beginning is the most important part of any work. Starting, no matter how messy or shaky, is what separates dreamers from doers. Action, even imperfect and tentative, is what turns ideas into reality. 8. Progress over perfection. One of the biggest traps we fall into is waiting to be perfect before we start, or waiting for every step to be flawless. Perfection is an illusion, a story our mind tells us to stay safe. But here's the truth. Progress, not perfection, is what moves you forward. Every small action you take, even if messy, builds momentum. Every imperfect step teaches you something valuable. Every time you try and fail, you gain experience and strength. Think about an artist learning to paint. Their first strokes are shaky. The colors may be wrong, the lines uneven, but with each attempt, they learn more. With each mistake, the skill grows. The same is true for life. You can't wait to feel perfect, ready, or completely capable. Waiting only delays your growth. Start, stumble, adjust, and keep moving. Small, consistent progress compounds. Writing 5 minutes a day eventually turns into a full chapter. Exercising 10 minutes a day eventually transforms your body. Learning one new word in a language every day eventually gives you fluency. What feels tiny today will be massive tomorrow if you keep at it. Forget the idea that everything must be perfect. Focus on showing up, doing the work, and improving gradually. Growth doesn't happen in one giant leap. It happens in repeated steps, day after day. Imperfect, messy, but steady. Celebrate the progress, not the perfection. Remember, the enemy isn't failure, it's inaction. Fear of not being perfect keeps you stuck. But imperfect action, repeated consistently, is unstoppable. Every day, you choose progress over perfection. You build confidence, resilience, and momentum. The person you want to become isn't waiting in some perfect future. It's being built right now, one imperfect step at a time. So ask yourself, what small action can I take today, even if it's not perfect? Just one, then do it. Repeat tomorrow, and the next day. Progress over perfection isn't just advice, it's the law of growth. Start moving, and you'll be amazed how far imperfect steps can take you. 9. Embrace discomfort as your teacher. Growth never happens in comfort. Every time you stay in the safe zone, your potential shrinks, even if it feels easy in the moment. Discomfort is not your enemy. It's your guide, your teacher, your signal that you're moving towards something greater. The tension you feel when trying something new, when pushing your limits, or when facing a fear, is proof that you are alive, that you are stretching, that you are evolving. Think about the athletes who break records, the entrepreneurs who build empires, the artists whose work moves millions. Every one of them has a story of discomfort. They felt doubt, they felt fear, they failed over and over again, but they didn't run from discomfort, they leaned into it. That unease, that struggle became the engine of their progress. Ask yourself, where in your life are you avoiding the hard things? Which conversations have you delayed? Which goals have you kept at arm's length? Because they feel uncomfortable. Which habits have you avoided because they demand effort or humility? That's exactly where your growth lies. Right, behind that wall of unease is the person you've been meant to become. Discomfort is the ultimate teacher because it shows you your real limits and forces you to expand them. Every time you feel awkward, nervous, or unsure, you have a choice: retreat into safety or step forward and learn. Each time you choose the latter, you expand your capacity. Your resilience grows, your confidence strengthens, your mind becomes sharper, more capable of handling challenges that would have once overwhelmed you. Imagine a sculptor chiseling a block of stone. Every strike feels hard, uncomfortable, even dangerous to the perfection of the piece, but it is through the friction, the resistance, and the effort that the shape begins to appear. Your life is no different. Each moment of discomfort, each challenge you face is a chisel striking away the unnecessary, revealing the masterpiece underneath. So don't avoid it. Don't try to numb the tension with distraction or excuses. Invite it, sit with it, ask it what it has to teach you. Treat every uncomfortable moment as a lesson, as evidence that you are moving forward. It won't feel good at first. You may feel fear, shame, or doubt, but the people who achieve extraordinary lives don't let temporary discomfort dictate their actions. They act through it, grow through it, and eventually that discomfort becomes familiar, not because the challenge got easier, but because they became stronger. Here's the truth. Your comfort zone will always whisper lies. It will say, wait, not now. It's too hard. You'll fail. Listen politely, then act anyway. Every step into discomfort builds courage. Every act of bravery expands your limits. Over time, those small, courageous acts compound into massive growth, unstoppable energy, and a life that feels vivid and alive. The moment you begin to embrace discomfort, you stop fearing it, you stop avoiding challenge, and you discover a remarkable truth. You are stronger than your fear, bigger than your doubts, and more capable than you ever imagined. Your potential doesn't live in comfort, it thrives in discomfort. 10. The power of consistent action. One of the most overlooked truths in life is that small, consistent actions are far more powerful than occasional bursts of effort. People often overestimate what they can do in a single day and underestimate what they can achieve over weeks, months, and years. Success, mastery, and transformation are not the result of one heroic effort. They are the outcome of daily choices repeated with intention. Think about planting a tree. You don't plant a seed and expect a giant tree the next day. You water it, you protect it, you give it sunlight, you return day after day, even when you don't see results immediately. That small, consistent care compounds, eventually producing a mighty tree. Your life works the same way. Every small action, reading a few pages, writing down goals, taking a short walk, doing one extra push-up, compounds over time into extraordinary results. Consistency is the bridge between dreams and reality. You don't need a perfect plan, unlimited resources, or constant inspiration. You only need to show up every single day and do what is necessary. Imagine a sculptor who chips away at a block of marble. Each strike seems small, almost insignificant. Yet over time, those repeated strikes create a work of art. The masterpiece emerges not in a single moment of brilliance, but through persistent, intentional effort. Now ask yourself, where in your life are you inconsistent? Which dreams have been delayed because you only act when you feel like it? Every time you wait for motivation, for the perfect timing, or for circumstances to align, you give your potential away. Every day that passes without action is a day lost. But here's the empowering truth. You can reclaim it, starting today. Start small, start consistent, build the habit of taking action no matter how minor it feels. Over time, those small actions will grow, and the momentum will carry you further than you ever imagined. Consistency is also a test of character. It's easy to act when everything feels good, when energy is high, or when results are immediately visible. But the real growth comes when you continue, even when it's hard, even when you're tired, distracted, or doubting yourself. That's where the winners separate themselves from the dreamers. That's where self-respect is forged. And don't confuse consistency with monotony. Each day you take action, you learn, adapt, and improve. Each day you repeat your efforts, you gain insight and strength. Small daily actions compound into skills, into habits, into confidence, and eventually into mastery. When life tests you, you won't need motivation. You will have discipline. When challenges arise, you won't hesitate. You will have momentum. And when opportunities come, you'll be ready, because your consistent effort has prepared you to seize them. So today, choose action over hesitation. Choose repetition over waiting. Choose consistency over perfection. Show up, take the next small step, and then do it again tomorrow, and the next day, and the day after that. Because life doesn't reward those who dream, it rewards those who do. And consistent action, even if unseen or unrecognized, is the most powerful force in transforming dreams into reality. 11. Master your mind, master your life. The most powerful tool you possess isn't your body, your wealth, or your circumstances. It's your mind. Every habit, every action, every success or failure begins there. Yet most people live as if they have no control over their thoughts, letting doubt, fear, and negativity dictate their choices. If you want to change your life, the first battlefield is inside your own head. Think about it. Every day, countless small thoughts pass through your mind, some helpful, many destructive. Thoughts like, I can't do this, I'll never be good. Enough, why bother? It's too hard. These are not reality, they are mental habits. They are echoes of past failures, of fear, of conditioning, and if you let them run unchecked, they will shape your day, your actions, and ultimately your life. But here's the truth, your mind is not your master, it is your tool, and like any tool, it can be sharpened, trained, and directed. Start by observing your thoughts without judgment. Every time fear, doubt, or procrastination whispers in your ear, pause and ask, is this thought serving me, or is it holding me back? This simple practice transforms your mind from a reactive machine into a conscious creator. You begin to recognize the difference between a reflexive fear and a legitimate concern. You start to see opportunities where once there was hesitation. Next, replace the old scripts with deliberate, empowering ones. If you catch yourself thinking, I can't, respond with, I am learning, I am capable, I will try. If you hear, I'm too late, answer, I start now, and every step counts. The words you feed your mind are the blueprint for your actions. They set the tone for your day, your decisions, and the level of energy you bring into every challenge. Meditation, journaling, and reflection are powerful allies here. Even 5 minutes a day spent observing your thoughts and clarifying your intentions rewires your brain. Over time, you'll notice a shift. Your impulses become conscious choices, your habits become aligned with your goals, and your fear of failure shrinks. Mastery of your mind does not mean perfection, it means presence. It means you are aware enough to act deliberately, even when emotions scream otherwise. Remember, the greatest victories in life start inside. When you master your mind, you reclaim control over your decisions, your time, and your energy. Obstacles outside lose their power when you know that your strength is rooted within. The storms of life, the chaos, the criticism, the setbacks can no longer toss you around like a leaf in the wind. You become like a ship with a steady helm, guided not by circumstance, but by conscious choice. So today, commit to training your mind as seriously as you train your body. Observe your thoughts, challenge the negative, rewrite the narrative. Every deliberate thought is a step closer to the life you deserve. Master your mind, and you master your life. It is the foundation of every success, every breakthrough, every transformation that will ever happen to you. 12. Failure is your greatest teacher. Failure isn't the enemy. It's not something to fear, avoid, or hide from. In fact, failure is one of the most powerful tools you have for growth, mastery, and transformation. Every successful person, every great innovator, every master of their craft has faced it, often repeatedly, sometimes crushingly. And yet, they became great not in spite of failure, but because of it. Think about Thomas Edison. When inventing the light bulb, he didn't succeed on the first try, or the 100th, or the 1000th. Each attempt that didn't work was not a defeat, it was information, it was feedback, it was a step closer to success. Failure is a lesson wrapped in discomfort. It tells you what doesn't work, what to change, where to improve, and how strong you really are. Without it, you remain stagnant. Without it, progress is impossible. Most people run from failure because it feels like shame. It feels like proof that they're not good enough. But that's a lie your mind tells you. Every mistake, every rejection, every setback is an opportunity. If you shift your perspective, failure becomes a mirror reflecting what you need to grow, not a judgment of your worth. When you embrace it, you stop fearing it. When you stop fearing it, you begin to take bolder actions. And bold actions are where life-changing results are born. Ask yourself, how often have you avoided taking a risk simply because you were afraid to fail? How many dreams have you left untouched? How many goals unpursued because your mind whispered, what if it doesn't work? Every time you avoid the challenge, You deny yourself the opportunity to learn, to grow, and to prove that you are stronger than your fear. The truth is, failure is inevitable if you aim high. And that's a good thing. It's proof that you're trying, proof that you're pushing beyond comfort, proof that you are alive. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't that they never fail, it's that they don't quit. They rise, they learn, they adjust, and they take the next step. Each failure is a building block, each setback a teacher, each mistake a guidepost on the path to mastery. So stop fearing failure. Stop seeing it as the end. Start seeing it as the fuel for your growth. Take the lessons it offers and apply them relentlessly. Let each misstep sharpen your focus, harden your resolve, and deepen your wisdom. Every time you fail, you are moving closer to the version of yourself capable of achieving extraordinary things. Remember this: your greatest victories will always rise from the ashes of your failures. Embrace them, learn from them, let them guide you, not stop you. Courage isn't the absence of failure, it's the ability to step forward in spite of it. Step forward anyway, fail forward, and you will discover that failure, when handled with discipline and awareness, is nothing less than the gateway to greatness. 13. Your environment shapes your destiny. One of the most powerful yet often overlooked forces in shaping your life is your environment. The people you spend the most time with, the places you inhabit, and the energy you surround yourself with have a profound impact on who you become, the habits you form, and the level of success you achieve. You are, in large part, a reflection of the environment you immerse yourself in. Think about it. If you surround yourself with people who complain, doubt, and settle for mediocrity, those voices will slowly seep into your mind. You'll find yourself mirroring their habits, their attitudes, their limitations. On the other hand, if you spend your time with individuals who push themselves, challenge norms, and relentlessly pursue growth, their energy becomes contagious. Their mindset rubs off on you. Their courage inspires you to act. Their discipline sets a new standard for what you will accept in your own life. Your physical environment matters too. Clutter, chaos, and distractions quietly drain your energy and focus. A messy space leads to a scattered mind. A disorganized schedule leads to wasted potential. By creating an environment that supports your goals, whether that's a tidy workspace, a clear calendar, or an inspirational reading list, you are sending a signal to your mind that growth is non-negotiable. This also applies to digital environments. Social media, endless scrolling, and constant notifications are subtle forces that hijack your attention and energy. They condition your mind to chase distraction rather than progress. You have the power to take control, curate your inputs, seek out knowledge, mentorship, and inspiration that push you forward rather than hold you back. Ask yourself, who and what am I allowing to influence me most? Am I letting the wrong voices, the wrong habits, the wrong distractions shape my actions? Or am I intentionally surrounding myself with forces that uplift, challenge, and stretch me to my highest potential? The reality is harsh but freeing. You cannot rise higher than the environment you inhabit. You cannot consistently think, act, and grow beyond the influences you accept into your life. If your friends, co-workers, or even family members settle, procrastinate, or fear change, they will unconsciously anchor you to their level. Conversely, if you intentionally immerse yourself in ambition, discipline, courage, and creativity, your growth accelerates. Change your environment, and you change your life. Seek mentors who embody the person you aspire to be. Spend time with those who push your limits. Declutter your mind, body, and space. Replace distractions with progress. Fuel your mind with positivity, challenge, and learning. Small changes in environment compound into unstoppable momentum over time. Your surroundings are not neutral. They either lift you up or hold you back, and the decision is yours. Take control of your environment, and you take control of your destiny. If you want to reach extraordinary levels of success, happiness, and fulfillment, you must be deliberate about the energy, people, and spaces you allow into your life. Choose wisely, choose deliberately, choose growth. 14. Take full responsibility for your life. One of the most empowering decisions you can ever make is to stop blaming circumstances, other people, or bad luck for where you are today. True freedom begins the moment you fully accept responsibility for your choices, your actions, and your results. Until that moment, you are giving away your power to everything outside yourself. Think about it. When things go wrong, it's easy to blame your boss, your co-workers, your family, your upbringing, or the economy, but each excuse quietly chains you to mediocrity. Every time you say, "I can't because of X," you give away a piece of your control. You remain a passenger in your own life, reacting to external forces instead of driving your own destiny. Taking responsibility doesn't mean ignoring real challenges. It means refusing to be a victim. It means asking yourself, what can I do right now? How can I respond in a way that moves me forward? When you adopt this mindset, obstacles transform into opportunities. Problems become lessons, setbacks become fuel for growth. The world doesn't change, but your response to it does, and that is what shapes your future. Consider this. Every highly successful person you admire has faced adversity. They've encountered failures, rejection, loss, and heartbreak. What set them apart wasn't luck or circumstance. It was their refusal to hand over responsibility for their lives to anyone else. They owned their mistakes, learned from them, and used them as stepping stones. They didn't sit around wishing for someone else to fix their problems. They acted every single time. Ask yourself, where in my life am I avoiding responsibility? Which areas am I blaming external factors for? And more importantly, what would happen if I took full control, no matter how small the first steps? The answer is simple: growth, empowerment, and transformation beyond what you imagined possible. Taking responsibility also sharpens your decision-making. When you know the results rest squarely on your shoulders, every choice gains weight. You think more clearly, act with purpose, and stop wasting energy on complaining or worrying about things you can't control. You develop a mindset where no obstacle is too big, no challenge too daunting, and no failure too discouraging, because you know that the power to overcome it always lies within you. Freedom, growth, and mastery are never gifts. They are earned through ownership. Own your thoughts, own your actions, own your life. Stop looking for external permission, external fixes, or external motivation. You are the architect of your destiny. You are the captain of your ship. And the moment you decide to take full responsibility, the world shifts. Opportunities appear, confidence grows, and even setbacks become fuel for your ascent. So today, commit fully. Decide that no more excuses, no more blaming, no more waiting. Own everything: your habits, your choices, your goals, and your results, because the life you've been dreaming about won't come to you by chance. It comes to those who step into full ownership and take decisive, consistent action every single day. 15. Fear is a compass, not a cage. Fear is one of the most misunderstood forces in life. Most people treat it as a barrier, a warning, a signal to stop. They try to avoid it, push it away, or numb it with distractions. But here's the truth. Fear is not your enemy. It is your compass. It points directly to the areas in your life where growth, opportunity, and transformation await. The problem isn't fear itself, it's what you do when you feel it. Think about the moments when you've hesitated, avoided a challenge, or backed down from something important. Chances are fear was there. Your heart raced, your mind questioned, and your body wanted to retreat. That's normal, it's natural. But the very thing you fear most is often the path you need to take. Fear signals that you are stepping out of the familiar, pushing boundaries and approaching something meaningful. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is taking action despite it. Every single person who achieved greatness, from artists to athletes, entrepreneurs to explorers, felt fear. And yet, they didn't let it dictate their choices. They felt it, acknowledged it, and stepped forward anyway. They used it as a guide, not a jailer. Ask yourself, what fear have I been letting control me? Is it fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown? And what would happen if I treated that fear as a signal instead of a stop sign? Each time you do what scares you, you grow. Each time you embrace the discomfort that comes with fear, you stretch the boundaries of what you thought was possible. You prove to yourself that you are stronger than your doubts. Here's a powerful practice. Whenever fear arises, pause and ask, what is this fear trying to show me? Look at it objectively. Most fears are not threats. They are invitations. Invitations to act, to step into your potential, to test your limits, and to create the life you've been dreaming about. The greater the fear, the greater the opportunity. The bigger the discomfort, the bigger the reward on the other side. Remember, comfort will never lead to transformation. Safety will never produce mastery. But fear, when harnessed, can catapult you to levels you never imagined. Treat it like a compass. Let it guide you toward growth, not cage you in hesitation. Step into the fear zone deliberately. Start small if you must, then build momentum. Each act of bravery, no matter how minor, strengthens your courage muscle. Over time, fear loses its power to stop you. It becomes a fuel, a signal, a teacher. The next time fear whispers, don't retreat, lean in, act. Take the step that scares you. Push just a little farther than yesterday. Fear is not a warning to stop. It is a pointer to where the greatest growth lies. Walk toward it, face it, embrace it, and in doing so, you will discover a power inside yourself that you never knew existed. Daring to begin is already a victory over your two greatest enemies, fear and procrastination. The moment you take that first step, you've defeated the part of yourself that wants to stay small, safe, and comfortable. Don't wait until you feel completely ready, because true readiness comes only after action. It comes after you stumble, after you risk failure, and after you learn from every experience along the way. Don't let another idea, another dream, another passion fade quietly inside you simply because you doubt yourself or feel not enough. Start before you're ready. It's the only path to genuine growth, to reinvention, and to the life you've been dreaming of. Yes, you might falter, you might feel afraid, and yes, you might even fail, but only through those moments will you discover the strength, resilience, and courage that already exist inside you. Remember this, acting right now, even in the smallest ways, builds skill, confidence, and transforms fear into momentum. Every tiny action matters. Every small, deliberate step, no matter how uncertain, carries you forward. Take that step today and let this very moment mark the beginning of your most powerful journey yet. One day you'll look back and thank yourself for having the courage to start, even before you felt fully ready. As you reflect on the entirety of your journey to leveling up, you'll notice patterns that have been holding you back. Your brain, wired to protect you, tries to keep you anchored safely in the comfort zone. The good enough mindset quietly robs you of your potential. Comfort acts like a drug, numbing your ambitions and dulling the fire that should drive you. Excuses are just disguises for the fear of failure, pretending to be reason while they keep you trapped. You're not tired. You're under-challenged. Motivation comes and goes like waves, but discipline and intentional habits are the foundation for long-lasting growth. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment or for confidence to appear magically. Start acting. Start building small, repeatable steps that compound over time. As you act, confidence, energy, and tangible results naturally follow, from taking your first tiny action to deliberately seeking out challenges, changing habits, tracking your progress, and honoring promises to yourself. Everything can begin right now. You don't need tomorrow. You don't need perfect conditions. The journey starts with you, today, in this very moment. If you found this video valuable, leave a comment below with one action you're committing to today. And if you have suggestions or feedback, don't hesitate to share so I can improve next time. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a video guiding you through the practical application of Stoic philosophy, helping you become stronger, calmer, and steadily leveling up every single day. Keep watching the videos appearing at the end of the screen, and let's continue this journey together, one step at a time, one day, one habit, one deliberate choice at a time. That's how you truly level up.